Hi 5MS. As you're probably now aware, I'm Mr. Stewart and I'll be teaching you next year. First of all, I just wanted to say what a pleasure it was to meet you all properly this week in our transition morning. I know some of you already a little bit from interactions around the school, but it was really nice to get to meet you all properly in a classroom environment, and I'm really excited about teaching you in September. So just a little bit about me, and we went through a little bit of this on our transition day. I used to be a secondary school teacher for a lot of my career. Actually taught at Ashlong for a good 5-6 years. This means that not only am I going to be able to support you through kind of your SATs in such an important year in year 6, but also I can help you prepare for that next step in the following September, prepare you for secondary school too. And to help you prepare for that, one of the things we discussed in our session on Wednesday morning was our class values. So I'd just like to go through those again because they're really, really important for us to be successful. So the first one we spoke about was hard work, and I think that's a value that every classroom should have, really. We discussed a lot about what this would look like. Specifically, you guys came up with these ideas as well. You said it's about trying every task and answering every question to the best of your ability, even if it's tough, even if you're struggling. It's about giving it a go and persevering. And after you've given it a go and you're still not sure, it's about raising your hand and asking for help rather than just kind of sitting there and waiting for the answers to come to you. We've got to be kind of searching for that knowledge, searching for that success and working towards that. And that's what I'm here to help you do. Another big part of that for me is, yes, we're going to have some group work, some pair work, but working independently is vital for success. Some people might be able to work in a chatty environment, but it's a matter of fact that all people are able to work in a quiet one. So it's about respecting people around us. And working quietly shows me that you're really focused on your work. So there will be a lot of independent and quiet work, maybe something we need to get used to perhaps. And then finally, it's about responding to feedback. Arguably, that's the most important part of a lesson, responding to the feedback. That is how we get better. So hard work, really, really important, value number 1. The second value we spoke about was respect. Not just respect for me or Mrs. Gooman, but respect for your peers and the classroom environment as well. And that means allowing others to speak without interruption. We raise our hands in this classroom if you'd like to speak. Generally, if you're shouting out, you're not going to be heard. You need to be respectful, put your hand up, and then of course we'll give you your time to speak. So raise your hand if you wish to contribute. Do not interrupt other people. Don't interrupt the teacher. Just make sure we're listening. This also means to be considerate with your language, considerate with your actions. We're all very good at that on Wednesday mornings, so it's about continuing with that as well. We're not going to get on with everyone. We're not going to be best friends with everyone. That's not how the world works. But what we can do is be respectful of the people around us and their personal space and those kinds of things. So if we can do that, again, we're going to have a really successful time from September onwards. One thing that's not listed on there is the respect for the environment, and that's something you guys raised with me on Wednesday, and you're absolutely right. We've got a lot of equipment in the classroom that is there to help you succeed in your lessons. We've got to respect that equipment. It doesn't just grow on trees. You've got stations, we'll talk about those in a moment. With equipment, you need to make sure you're looking after those. We need to make sure that we're keeping our desks tidy, that we're picking up litter that we see on the ground. Even if it's not yours, if you see it, just pick it up, pop it in the bin. It's a respectful thing to do. Mrs. Gooman works incredibly hard on the displays, so make sure we're respecting those as well. It's really, really important. And then finally, we have pride. Value number 3 is pride. What I want you to really do in my lessons next year is be proud of yourself, essentially. Write with your best handwriting. Those books are an example of what you are capable of, so that you need to really show off what you can do in those topic books and the other books as well. Best handwriting. And that might be something you struggle with. You might be struggling with your handwriting. That's fine, as long as you are putting in 100% of your effort to improve, and that's all I can ask of you. In addition to that, things like underlining the Walton date and the titles, using a pencil and a ruler, those kinds of things that we're taught kind of very early on in our Hill Morton career, our time here. Those are obviously still expectations in year 6. We need to make sure we're doing those as well. That's the same with things like doodling. Sometimes I understand people might need to doodle because they get a little bit distracted. It helps them focus perhaps, but we don't doodle in our workbooks. And then finally, with pride, share your ideas, your work. We generally try to go for a no hands up policy in this classroom, meaning that you'll be given a lot of time to think and to chat with the person next to you about your ideas, but it may be that I ask you to offer up your opinion, even if you haven't got your hand up. And what I noticed, which was brilliant on Wednesday, is that essentially all of you were really keen to get involved, and I really like that. You obviously were taking pride in your ideas, and you wanted to share them. So these are really vital as well. Again, we're going to success for everyone's classroom, and these are going to be our expectations throughout the year in year 6. It's such an important year. We need to make sure that we are all setting and meeting high standards for ourselves. As for what next year looks like, you've already seen our classroom set up, but I'll give you a quick tour anyway. The first thing you might notice in year 6 is that we are in rows. You might be used to some group tables in year 4 or 5. But yeah, we have rows in year 6. This is essentially just to ensure that we're all focused, and it's actually something you'll expect in secondary school as well. You'll see that in secondary school, and it's helping us prepare for secondary school too. You also notice that each half row has a station of equipment, things like whiteboards, whiteboard pens, red pens, pencils, rulers, etc., that you're going to share with your half row. And it's up to you guys to bring your stationery in and keep your stationery safe, but also the stationery in those stations as well, keeping them tidy, in good order. If there's something missing, you let us know and we'll replenish it. But that's kind of your half row's responsibility. That's there for you in lessons. You'll also notice a number of displays around the room. We love our displays at Hill Morton. So I'll talk you through a number of them. The first one is at the front. That's our SPAG display. That's going to support us with our literacy and our SPAG activities. As you know, we've got a SPAG SATS paper in kind of the spring, summer term. So all the knowledge that we find on that board, the resources underneath that board, really, really useful. At the back of the room, by the window, we've got our science display. Really excited about science next year. In case you didn't know, I am the science lead, so I like to try and keep things interesting. We kick off the year with electricity. We tackle things like light. At some point we'll tackle the human body. This year with our current year 6s, we brought in kind of this massive ox heart, and we dissected it at the front, and it was brilliant to see that the kids, after learning about the heart, were able to kind of identify things. So as we were dissecting it, so that's going to be really exciting. A bit gross, but really exciting. We'll learn about the animal kingdom and evolution in science. Really excited about science. Next to our science display, we've got our topic display. Our topics in this order next year are going to be ancient Greece, where we'll study kind of the Greek gods and kind of the effect that ancient Greece, the impact ancient Greece has had on the world. Riotous royals, where we look at royalty all across Britain. We look at disasters, volcanoes, earthquakes, that's our 3rd unit, hurricanes, tsunamis, those kinds of things. Our 4th topic is Darwin and evolution, which ties nicely into our science topic as well. After that, we have something called Yes Minister, where we look at UK politics, which is really, really important, especially recently. And then our 6th and final topic, you will notice from the display that we've currently got up, is World War II, something our current year 6s have been fascinated by. Next to that, we have our guided reading displays. So we're currently kind of reshuffling some things here, because there was some text last year that, or this year, sorry, that year 6s really, really loved. Some they didn't engage with as much, so there was a bit of a reshuffle. But we're going to kick off next year with a text titled The Sister Who Ate Her Brothers, and I'm really excited about this one. This is a collection of short, scary stories from around the world, from places like Korea, Japan, Inuit country, Spain, the Caribbean. really excited about us exploring kind of that oral storytelling tradition with that. But we also study classics like The Hobbit and Goodnight Mr. Tom when we study World War II. Reading, arguably for me, is the most important thing for success. I mean, I say that because I'm an English teacher, but I genuinely believe that if you read and you read often, that's going to help with absolutely everything. So they're going to take a real kind of important place in our lessons next year. Finally, we have in that corner, we've got our lovely reading corner. Next to that, we have our maths display, where similar to the SPAG display, you've got all of our maths equipment and knowledge that you need for success there. It's also worth noting that across the year we should have a number of trips planned, subject to availability obviously. PGL, apologies, should take place in the autumn term. I know lots of us are really excited about that. And subject to availability, during our Yes Minister topic, we plan to go to Rugby Town Hall and take part in a debate with the Mayor, which we did this year. And again, our students were fantastic. They really did our school proud, and we expect that you'll do the same. On top of that, this year, and we plan to do it in your time in Year 6 as well, we've got an additional STEM trip that we'd like to carry out to Silverstone in Northampton. I don't know whether you're interested in F1 racing or anything like that, but an engineering workshop and a tour around the museum, you get to see the track. A lot of our kids this year said that was the best trip, surpassed even PGL. Some of them thought. So really excited, looking forward to that one as well. So I hope you had a great time on transition morning. I certainly had a great time, and I hope you got a small taste of what Year 6 is going to be like. And I genuinely believe if we enter September with a positive mindset, dedication to work hard, and those 3 core values in our heads as we enter those doors, we're going to have a fantastic year, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you then. Take care. Bye.